Nightmare Alley was directed by Guillermo del Toro and stars Bradley Cooper as Stanton Carlyle. Carlyle, having stumbled upon a travelling carnival, acquires new knowledge relating to mentalism. When his tricks go too far, he finds himself locked in a scheme with a dangerous tycoon with the help of Cate Blanchett's character, Lilith Ritter. So going into this movie, I did have really high hopes. I saw a lot of reviews, I saw the score for the movie, and it really did look like a good film. But I left extremely disappointed. Disappointed! And I never ever, even think about nodding off at the theatre. It just never happens. It's so loud, I'm fixated on the movie. But this movie, I honestly, during that second act, I was this close to just falling asleep. I could feel my eyes starting to shut. And that's not taking away from any of the performances in this movie. Everybody's fantastic. Bradley Cooper's performance is amazing. I think A Star Is Born, his performance in that was just a little bit better.
Hey. I just want to take another look at you.
Cate Blanchett was great. Willem Dafoe was great, as always. Every supporting actor was great. But again, I was just so bored through this second act. The first act of this movie is great. We see Bradley Cooper's character entering this carnival, and he starts to learn all the tricks of the trade. And we see Willem Dafoe, the length he's willing to go to entertain other people. It's pretty fucked up. You can see Guillermo del Toro is so picky when it comes to the way his backgrounds and sets look, because the whole time we're at the carnival, it looks amazing. Every little shot is so detailed. But then the movie takes a turn. The pacing's really great. A lot of things are happening within the first 45 minutes of the movie. You actually care about the characters there. And then one character commits suicide. Police come, they try to shut them down, and Bradley Cooper's character just disappears. And we never hear about this carnival again. Not a single time through the movie. The second act is about an hour, I'd say. And for a good hour, we're just getting boring dialogue. The love story between him and Cate Blanchett, I really did not care for it. And it sort of makes you really hate Bradley Cooper's character, whereas in the first act, you wanted him to succeed. You kind of felt bad for him. He was still sort of a mystery. You didn't know who he really was, what he did in his past, but you didn't really care. You wanted this guy to succeed, but then the second act of the movie, you didn't give a fuck. I think if the entire movie was just set at this carnival, it would have made for a better experience. Then the third act, it picks up a little bit, but the way they've written the story, you're sort of just introduced to this criminal tycoon that wants to see his dead wife or something again, and he's been harming other women because he feels bad that he harmed his ex-wife, so he wants to do a seance to see her again. And that's your last half an hour, and you're just introduced to this guy, and the movie closes with this guy with no real backstory and explanation. It was sort of just thrown in there. That being said, the payoff at the end of this movie, the little twist that happens, it's amazing. It relates back to the first act. But again, you don't really care for that payoff because you've sat through that whole second act and you just didn't really care. Well, at least I didn't care at all. So in summary, I had really high hopes for this movie and I left so disappointed. The performances were fantastic, yes, but the pacing of this movie let me down so much. The fact that I nearly fell asleep at a theatre, that never ever fucking happens. So I'm gonna have to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. I'm not saying at all you shouldn't go out and support this movie. I do recommend going to see it just to see what you think for yourself. But for me, it just didn't hit, and not every movie's gonna hit. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.